Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. I'm actually recording this just like the day that this popped in, and I'm getting it up as quick as possible. Usually this is not the case. Usually I'm scheduling videos, 2, sometimes 3 weeks out just because there's, everything's really busy. But this it has a special price on Kershaw's website that lasts from April 1st to April 5th. Obviously, I didn't get it up on the 1st. I got it up as fast as I possibly could, but it's a website exclusive for Kershaw, so I thought, this is a pretty good price. It's an American-made product. There's going to be people who really want this, and then after the 5th, I guess the price is going to go up on other retail sites. So I wanted to let you guys know quickly that this exists and is available, and it's also one of Kershaw's best models. It's also probably one of the best dollar-for-dollar American-made products out there. So definitely going to be something people are interested in. Thank you so much to Kershaw. Sorry if sometimes I say Kaiser. Sorry if I did. Thank you so much to Kershaw for sending this in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. Just an unboxing and first impression today. I have already reviewed this model, so there's no point in reviewing it again, but I do like variations of things. Oh, yes. Oh, they're going to do the chocolate brown. That is cool. So this is like a tan micarta, and then we have I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, it might look grayish black, but it is it's like a brown, like kind of, if you guys remember the ZT Auto that I showed here a while back, it's that same color of coating. So this is crew wear, I believe. Is that what it says there? Yeah, right there. So we have crew wear and micarta, which is a very, very popular combination. It's not always like my number one go-to, but I do like the kind of brown coating here. There is something kind of, it's not necessarily vintage. I mean, kinda. I guess there's something charming about the combination here. In any case, I got an email from Kai USA, and they said this is we're keeping this on the website for $160. So this variation of this knife between April 1st and April 5th is actually, I think, the same or maybe slightly less expensive than the standard version of the Bel Air, which is pretty cool. I wish that would just be perpetually, the price tag for this. But anybody who's watching right now, I think I'll probably have this up by the 2nd or 3rd. So anybody who's watching, you'll have a little bit of time to actually pick this up if you want to. As is always the case, the Bel Air, I do have to point this out. I've said for years now that Kershaw's quality control has just gotten better and better and better. Now we're at the point where it is so beautifully consistent. I have unboxed and showcased many variations of the Bel Air. I personally own 3 different variations of this knife, and I'm happy to say that the consistency is very, very good. On top of that, and I think perhaps Taylor will have a little bit of data on Kershaw for HRC hardness. Their range for MagnaCut, for example, is a consistent 62 to 64, as far as I know. And I believe now their consistency with other steels like Crewwear is also going to be within the optimal range. I actually don't know. I believe Crewwear can get a little harder, but I actually don't know. Or is it the same? Is it the same as MagnaCut? Those of you who know, you can tell me. It's hard to keep the perfectly accurate information on every steel in my head, right? I know Crewwear is a little bit different. I believe it's harder than, like that it's got a harder optimal range than like M390, for example. But I think it's up there at the same or slightly higher even than MagnaCut. But I trust that Kershaw will do a good job there. The liners and the hardware are black. There's a part of me that's like, oh, I kind of wish that it was the same color as the blade. But then again, I feel like that probably would have upped the price because they would have had to probably Cerakote everything. So I think I can understand. And honestly, the black is kind of a nice contrast. This is the only way that you can tell that the blade is actually not black is by looking at it up against the hardware. You can see here that hardware is black and the blade is It's almost so deep chocolate colored that there's a hint, like a little, it's almost like a very, very, like the color in between purple and gray was turned into fog, and then the fog just sort of like this blade passed through the fog. That's what it's like. Low battery purple fog is almost like what it looks like was applied to the blade here. It's very clean. The Bel Air is people are still confused about this. Not everybody, but some people. Kershaw has some knives that are made in China, and they have some knives that are made in the USA. You'll know if the knife is made in the USA if it has this American flag on it. But yeah, like when you go to Walmart and you buy a Kershaw knife for like $35, that Kershaw is made in China. That's why the price is lower, right? This is a much more expensive knife at $160, but the combination here, I mean, whether you're comparing the standard one, the Bel Air and Magna Cut and G10 or micarta, or you're looking at something like this with Crewwear and micarta, there are very few other truly American-made knives that are actually consistent in their quality control, their heat treatment, they're using premium materials for the blade, their execution, their fit and finish is all up there, top tier for, production competition. Very few other American-made products are at or near the same price, which is why here recently I did a video on the point of diminishing returns. Everybody knows that my old point of diminishing returns knife was the Ritter Hogue, which is still a great knife. It's still a wonderful product, right? But dollar for dollar, the Bel Air, and had they kept the Bel Air XL at the same price tag that it was at when they released it, I think I would have kept that there. But products like the Bel Air, the new Bare Knuckle, and the Bel Air XL are all right there in that, that special place where when you, as you continue to climb in dollar value, looking at other knives, you're going to get less and less and less for your money. Now, this is coming from somebody who regularly buys knives that are multiple hundreds of dollars, in some cases multiple thousands of dollars. I'm a collector, and I'm not buying that stuff under the impression that I'm getting additional utility for all of that money. I'm buying it because I'm a collector and I want to collect it. I'm well aware, of the point of diminishing returns as it relates or correlates to utility. And that's where this knife is for me, honestly. So when people ask, like, what is that quintessential, like, knife it's got good steel, it's got good quality control, it's a good EDC knife, it's easy to manipulate, it's safe to manipulate, trustworthy, long lasting, all of that. Like, what is the maximum that I can get for my money before I start to get less and less and less as I look at more and more and more expensive knives? And it's easy. This is the conclusion that I come to every single time, at least for right now, right? Eventually maybe we'll see another one. I'm pretty firm in keeping that, and that's the thing. Even for even when we're not just comparing American products, even when you factor in like a lot of the Chinese stuff, it's this is still a really good price. So I think this particular version is awesome. The micarta and the tan micarta and the Crewwear for $160, I think is good. Now I don't know what the price is going to go up to. After that, I don't know if it's going to go up to like 180. If it bumped up to like 180 or 185 or so, I think that's still like okay. I don't want to see it go over 200. I feel like a lot of stuff is just going to keep climbing up and up and up, but I'm pretty firm on when I am discussing, the point of diminishing returns as it relates to American production knives. I really like the $150 to $200 territory, because that seems to be where your best value stuff, like with those set parameters, is going to be. So that's it. This is a cool knife. I thought you guys would want to know about it. I think the price is really good, and I like the color combination. So thanks again to Kai USA, Kershaw, ZT, all of the above. Thanks for sending this in. Please make sure. Oh, I'll give this away, by the way. I'll give this away on a future live stream. So give it to you guys there. But anyways, thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.